morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning, YouTube viewers. Good morning, Facebook Nation. Good morning to everyone this morning. Hope your day is beautiful. Everyone is able to do what they need to do. Everybody is safe and everybody is healthy. I had posted another video before this one, but the audio was seriously bad. I had bought some new equipment. I still have it, but one of the cables was putting out this humming sound. So I had to revert back to old, but I will learn how to apply it and get it right. So as I said, today's a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day. So today, well, we'll go back to, before we start, click like, subscribe, share. A lot of topics on the playlist talks about all different things issues that we go through on a daily basis and a different way of looking at things. So the video that I took down was entitled The Simple Way of Understanding. However, there were parts, the video itself to me was a good video because it brought out a lot of information that we can use. So what I'm going to do today is use parts of that video in today's discussion. And it's like a spin-off to it because today's topic is COVID brought out something else. And when we think about COVID, you think about, oh yeah, well, it took a lot of lives of a lot of people, and it just caused havoc throughout the whole world. But it also did something that most people and a lot of people that I know of out here on social media aren't speaking about, and it's that COVID broke a lot of people mentally broke them. So we're seeing changes. So when we're seeing, like I said, I never want to come to you just to say things just to say them. However, just in the past week, you can look at the news and look at the number of mass shootings. Look at the number of complaints, sexual complaints that have been filed. And the shootings and the killings, as far as motorists, black motorists being killed, these things are still happening, and they're happening at a rampant, like someone hit the switch and everything just went full go. Like the green light is there, going to cause havoc. But there's, if you go back into my playlist, you'll see that years ago we were leading up to what is taking place, what you're seeing right now, and what's taking place now was explained back then. So COVID did a lot of things. It caused a lot of divorces. A lot of people were together in relationships for a long time, then closed in. Come to find out they had nothing in common, and being closed in, come to find out that there were extramarital affairs going on, as well as people who weren't married. They found out that they really had nothing in common, and think about that. And that's a whole different discussion of why people didn't have things in common, that were together and were probably together for years and just did not know that they had nothing in common. But that's another topic. Today we're going to discuss what COVID did and how it broke people mentally. In my other video I was saying how it's going take going back to work, for instance. People are going back to work, and somebody who was in the office with you, or somebody who was in the factory with you, or somebody who was in the wherever your occupation is, a person was quiet all the time for years, quiet, and then all of a sudden comes in, now this person talks like it blows your mind. Whereas a person who's talkative, now that person is quiet. So that's on a simple scale of looking at things. But when you apply, and we're going to talk about this, when you apply outside influence to a person that's already broken, then there has to be equal shared of a blame, and that blame will be discussed, and that blame is not on us, it's not on the viewers, it's not on the average person, but we're going to point out where this influence comes from. So I want to reiterate a quote that I did, and the quote goes, "The inevitability for a machine is to fail, relying solely on the machinist to reach its optimum longevity." So if we consider ourselves machines, then we know how to fix ourselves. If we consider ourselves unique and special, then we'll never know how to fix ourselves because we don't even know who we are. We're unique. If you're unique, no one can understand complete uniqueness. It's impossible. So if we understand ourselves, we can fix ourselves. This is why we're here, and we're here to understand what COVID has done mentally to break people down. And so in this case, we're going to look out that COVID brought out something else, but we're going to look at it in a mechanical way. We're not going to look at it in an emotional way. We're just going to look at it as a machine. And by looking at it as a machine, it may be able to help you in situations in your life. So COVID brought out many issues, especially just how fragile the human mind is. On the one hand, people are more supportive and helpful. We're seeing first responders, we're seeing that. And I'm doing another topic on that because through research, I've come to find out that a lot of first responders, not just officers, law enforcement, are part of racist organizations. That's a whole nother topic, and you'll be surprised to know that the person who you think is there to save your life at nighttime is going to a meeting or a gathering where they're talking about how to destroy you. So, what's the balance here? Night and day, but that's another topic. So we're going to stay on COVID. So to let us know how fragile we are and how, you got the first responders, and for the ones who are on the up and up, thumbs up to you, as well as sympathies to, the people who have gone through these mass shootings over these past, since this past year. So, sympathies to all of you. And so on the other hand, which is our reality, you got mass shootings. We have a broken government we all realize it now, not just here, but all over the world. And greed, and me first. And we have rape, and then we have divorce. And like I said, I put divorce in here because we broke records for that. And in every category, we broke records for divorce. Okay, so in order to explain what we are all seeing and experiencing in our lives, is we can term it as, what are people thinking syndrome. Almost like everything that we're seeing now is not surprising. It's, the first thing is like, what are people thinking? Yeah, well, maybe they might not be thinking for themselves. Okay? However, when we view the human machine as with a virus in it, then here are just a few outcomes of what the virus can do. So if we look at a virus, you take a machine, any machine, you got to run a machine, take a bolt and throw it into the machine. It'll destroy the machine because that's something that was taken outside of the machine, put into the machine. Same thing goes with us, where we say, if a person smokes cigarettes, you say, well, that person's killing themselves because they're taking in something that's destroying the machine, which is the human body. So in this case, we're going to look at a virus that you can't see, like in your computer, a virus that is going to eat through everything and go through all of your information and just break you down and take everything that you have. If we're looking at it as a computer fraud that we see now, where people are accessing and hacking accounts. And on our part, we're looking at it as a virus that is destroying us morally. That's the virus that's killing us. So we're going to explain that one today. As we grow, we feel, and this is what gets in the way, as we grow up, we feel that we have the understanding, know-how, along with the drive to assure us a fair shot at life. However, as we grow and mature, we realize that most of our drive becomes hindered by events outside of ourselves. So it's like, coming to the reality of what life is really all about. It's like being on a job for 40 years and, you know the ins and outs. Everyone, including the owners, come to you for answers. And then all of a sudden there's a position that's open, which is CEO. you know, and you're just sitting right below that, and you know that that position is yours, and then someone else comes in who doesn't know nothing about that company that, you know, you've been in for 40 years, and they take that position. That's when you come to the reality that says, you know, no matter how hard I go to school, no matter how hard I you know, work, no matter how hard of a good person I am, it does not matter. There's comes certain points in our lives where it does not matter how much you know and how hard you work. It's who you know, and that's the reality. So, to explain what we are experiencing, we need to start with what we see and trust. So now we're going to talk about that outside influence, what we see and what we trust. We trust politicians, but yet and still politicians are in corruption almost go hand in hand. Then you look at lawlessness and lack of accountability. Whereas, you know, people can kill at will, they can, you know, do anything that's outside of law and break the law themselves. It doesn't have to be in just killing. It could be, you know, with their associations with extremist groups, you know, so we see it. You know, if there's no accountability, what do we have? And then, you know, we have the media that will take the truth and spin it to suit the highest ratings. They'll take a story, and the story what you're seeing is actually what's happening, but yet still they'll spin it in another way to have you look at it in another way to say, well, maybe it didn't happen. I'm going to use this as an example of that. We're right now, most people, I don't have to watch the George Floyd case because I already know this is a system. I know how the system runs, and I know what the outcome of it is. You don't have to watch it to see it. So the defense, to my knowledge, the defense is getting ready to prove their case. So what they're doing is they're saying, well, look at last time. Look at last year, or look at last month what this person did. And I want to ask you a question. What bearing does what happens today, what bearing does that have to do with what happened yesterday? Yesterday I could have been a bad person, today I'm a good person. You mean to tell me I'm a bad person because a month ago I was bad, so I have to stay bad? So this is the thing, that the mindset where they're playing with our minds to get us to rethink things and think so far outside the box that it doesn't make sense. It almost becomes laughable when these people get away with stuff like that. It becomes laughable because they don't look at and view us, no matter what your color is, they still don't look at you as human. Either you're in that group, you're in that clique, or you're not. Okay, so, and then, you know, this is the media system. Then we look at an educational system that fails year in, year out in regards to bringing our children together. They say that they teach unity and all this togetherness in schools. School is the biggest divider. School is the biggest hypocrite. And if they really wanted to change issues that's taking place in the world, they would change the educational system from elementary school on. They should just revamp everything that they've done as far as what they call their social stance on togetherness and raising children that work together in a world and a society together. Yeah, revamp it. Come talk to me. I'll let you know what you need to take out. So, again, you know, COVID, people have these most beautiful homes, yet and still they're too busy for occupancy. So, you know, these are just different ways that, you know, some people out there, they have the most beautiful house, they have the most beautiful car, beautiful possessions, but yet and still they're running so much that they don't even get to enjoy it. They don't even get to spend time in it. They don't even get to spend time to drive it. You know, it's constantly chasing the carrot, and that's not by our fault. It's by the influencers that I just got through mentioning beforehand. So when we see people who are acting out, these people are acting out. They're acting out is because they've watched for years and years and years people getting away with all kinds of things that don't make any sense. Now here, where these people have become mentally broken over COVID, they say, well, now act out. Just like the lady who took out all her children, you know, and my sympathies goes out to those kids. Took out, this was what, last week or the week before, all of her children. And she stays alive. You take out all your children. Think about that. And now, you know, I'm not familiar with the story, but I understand what that mindset is. So the mindset that this woman is in is it's better to take those children out than to let them continue to deal in a world like this, even though it's wrong. This is what was going on inside this woman's head. So therefore, if you already have a mental imbalance, then you have a society that's saying, okay, well, we're going to help you to understand that it's okay to do something wrong. Then they get screwed up and they say, you know what, well, I could do it. Everybody else is doing it. Case in point, what I'm going to leave you with, January 6th, when all those people ran into the White House. They didn't expect to do that. They, you know, most of those people woke up the next day saying, what the hell happened? So think about how we're being influenced, but also think about the damage that COVID has done to us all. It has changed us in some way, shape, or form, each and every one of us. But the thing is, now we have to look at to see who we really want to be going forward. Because like I said in all my videos, the masks are off. People see people now for who they are. There is no more running game anymore. So, you know, we all have to wake up together, but we also have to be aware of our surroundings. We also have to know how to present ourselves to other people who may be feeling some kind of way, so that you're the exception. You're the person that, you know, might make that person feel a different way about something he might be angry about with other people. But the way these things start is by understanding how we work. What the most important job that we should have as humans is to understand how we work as individuals internally, because only then we can fix ourselves. And that's something that they're not out there trying to teach you how to understand you. They're trying to say, well, try this or try that. Why should you have to? You know, unless you know, you have a brain impairment. You know, we're all capable. You know, whether we were born with a book in our hand or we were born with a stone and a stick in our hand, we would eventually understand how to use those objects, just like we've understood how to use our brain. So I just want to leave everyone with that, to say, you know, COVID has done some, you know, damage. It brought out the way that the world really is, and we all have to be prepared for that on a daily basis. But we also have to continue to be the best people that we can be and not be broken by a society that is already broken. It doesn't have to break us, it doesn't have to break you or me. So with that, everyone have a beautiful day. Have an awesome day. Peace and blessings.